Welcome to the Stop Over Drinking and Start Living podcast, where high-achieving, goal-oriented rebel women come to learn how to live a vibrant and fulfilling life without requiring alcohol to get through it. No labels, no judgments, no saying you'll never drink again. Just real proven methods to help you stop rebelling against yourself with alcohol so you can drink less and do more. I'm your host, Angela Mascenik. Let's dig in. Welcome to episode 297, where I found unconditional love. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Today's episode is a little bit emotional. I just found out that this very interesting and lovely man named Filippo Testa passed away recently. Filippo owned an organic winery in Sicily, Italy. It was called Agriturismo Tarantola. And I went to this farm, this organic wine farm, back in 2018 for my 40th birthday. And I was planning this trip before I really dug into my relationship with wine and alcohol. And so I'd been planning this trip for a long time and, really put together a beautiful itinerary that included 2 nights at this organic wine farm, where it was an agriturismo, where you stay on the farm with the people and you see how they make the wine and you see how they work and live and all the things. I was really excited about it. And the man who ran this was just this beautiful soul. And in 2018, I came back from that trip and I had already started my podcast. It was a podcast that was before this one. It was called Lessons on Self-Coaching. And that podcast shared my journey of applying what I was learning through life coaching to my own life every week. And I did like 50 episodes. And one of those episodes was about unconditional love and finding love and the universe. And my mind was just very open to all of these sort of new ideas that I was finding and my feelings and all of that. And this man, Filippo, was just like this magical light for me. And I wrote a podcast about that experience. And I actually pulled this podcast from my archives. And I'm going to share it with you here. So hang on and listen to that in full. And in that experience, while I was there in the farm, he was a musician as well. And he played piano for us. And I recorded him playing piano for us. And I didn't even tell him about it. I just happened to think hit record. And so I had this audio file of him playing this beautiful piano music. And I went home and I wrote a poem about love. And I shared it with him. And then he wrote a poem about love and he shared it with me. And then I asked him to do an audio recording of him reading the poem so I could mix it to his music. And so now we have this audio file. And I'm going to share this audio file with you at the end of this podcast so you can hear him in his voice with his music sharing this beautiful love poem. And then I'm going to share my love poem with his music for you to listen to too. I hope you enjoy this episode from 2018 for after I visited Filippo's farm. It had an amazing impact on me and my life. It's amazing what only 2 days of an experience can do. If you are open and you are willing to go on that experience and say yes to your heart's desires, no matter what is going on in your life. And I would encourage you all to say yes to your life and to spread love and to go on the adventure and connect with the people and learn and be open to everything that those experiences have for you. And don't tell yourself you can't or that it's not important. Notice and appreciate everything that you have. Tell people that you love them. Tell people how important they are. And have these experiences. I am so, so glad that I thought to record that song, that I followed up with Philippo and I shared my gratitude with him And I shared my feelings about my experience on his farm, because now I have this forever and I can share it with you, and his legacy can keep going on. He had cancer and he died, and the world is has lost a beautiful soul, but his legacy will live on through his work and through the impact that he had, including for people like me. So I hope you enjoy the episode. I hope that you enjoy the song and the music at the end from both me and Filippo. And I hope that you say yes to your life and consider doing things that you've never done before and connecting on a whole new level that can open up a world of new possibilities and love for you. Talk to you soon. I'm sitting in a farm in Alcamo, Italy. It's 6:30 a.m. and all I hear is birds and doves chirping. It is beautiful music. This farm is called Azienda Agricola Terrantola de Cante Testa, and I'm sorry if I butchered that. It's over 300 years old. It's been in the same family, currently run by a lovely man named Filippo. When I was planning this trip, I wanted to immerse myself in the culture of the people who lived in the area. I booked 2 nights on the farm, only knowing that they grew their own food, grapes for wine, and had some farm animals. I emailed back and forth with the owner Filippo, and we instantly connected, and he read my blog post, and we followed each other on Instagram. He's a very passionate man and cares so much about his farm, the vegetation, and the animals that inhabit his land. We arrived here, and we were greeted by Filippo and his chef. They invited us to come back to the main sitting area, outside amongst the flowers and the birds and the trees, and listen to him tell the story of the farm and how he developed what we currently were seeing. So, after hiking around his beautiful 300-acre farm and just being blown away by the beauty of this town on the northern coast of Sicily, we met him at 6:30 p.m. And he tells us the story of his farm and his life and how everything he does includes love. Loving the earth, the people that work here, the guests, the vines, taking care of each one individually. He talks about loving the earth and how we need to be able to roll with whatever Mother Nature provides us, rain, sun, fire, earthquakes, all of it. And how he gives love and receives love. And I'm just awestruck by this man. He is enlightened and spiritual and gets how the universe works on a level that I am just now beginning to wrap my brain around. He also talked about money and how having money allows him to be generous in many, many ways. And then it comes back to him, right? How does he know this? How did he become to understand the things I'm just understanding now at 40? He was a talented pianist that traveled all over the world and played in symphonies and concertos. And when his dad passed away, he had to make a choice, either to sell the farm or to come and take it over. He didn't want the Sicilian mafia, which is absolutely a true thing, to come take his family farm. So he decided to give up his passion, his piano, and come over and take over the farm. He did all of it with love. He approaches his life with love. I want to approach my life with love. I want to be open to receiving it, giving it, and seeing it. I've been practicing this while traveling these past couple weeks, and I've received it in so many different ways. I told the universe that I'm open to receiving, and on the same day I told the universe that, I came across a little market in Catania, Italy, and they wouldn't charge me for 1 lemon and 1 orange at 2 different stands. That is love. I was clearly the only non-Italian at the farmer's market, walking around with my blonde hair and my shorts, and they wanted to make me feel good and were probably appreciative that I was there. I loved that so much. Then after, I went and sat by the sea and was drinking coffee, and I started crying because I was just completely, and I get overwhelmed now talking about it, overwhelmed with love and appreciation for every single experience that I've had. And then I realized in that moment that all of my dreams were coming true. And the tears were just pouring down my face. I had my sunglasses on, and I was looking out at the sea, and I'm just like having this amazing experience. And then this beautiful, young, like probably 18-year-old Italian server walked up to me with a plate of soft napkins to wipe my tears, you guys. It was like completely unbelievable. Sorry. Just thinking about it is very emotional. But it's so amazing, like how when you open yourself up to receiving that, and then knowledge when you're receiving it, and then it just flows in even more and more and more. And this guy couldn't speak English. I can't speak Italian very well. But I tried to communicate that I was crying because I was so happy and overwhelmed with the beauty of his cafe and looking at the sea and everything that I experienced. So I used the soft napkins and wiped away my tears. But I just can't even explain that. That is love. The love, the love, the love, that song, Where is the Love? It's everywhere. You just have to be open to seeing it and receiving it and then thanking the universe. I just couldn't believe that literally as I headed out on that walk, I thought, I'm open to receiving today. And then that happened. And then after we left Catania, we arrived at this farm in Alcamo. And there was this man whose life is driven by love. And he talked about things that not many people understand or talk about. While we were there, we took a cooking class in the kitchen on the farm. We made these old family recipes that have been passed down without written instructions. I was again blown away. These people are sharing their love of life and food and family with 3 American tourists. It was indescribable. When you are open to receiving love and want to give love, it's completely endless. When we first arrived at the farm, we took a walk down the road. While we were walking in between the old grapevines and wildflowers and bees, I saw a tree with fruit, and I couldn't remember what it was called. And then I kept thinking, it was a tree that grew on my grandma's property. It was a mulberry tree. My grandma had these mulberry trees in her neighborhood, and as a kid, we would just go out and pick them right off the tree and stuff our faces with it. Mulberries are wild and aren't grown and cropped like blackberries or blueberries. They're very special, and the fruit only lasts a couple weeks. So there was this mulberry tree just overflowing with ripe, delicious berries, and my friend and I stopped and picked them and shoved their faces with them. It was so awesome. We went back to the farm and got a bag and went back to pick some more. I really wanted to share them with the people at the farm, and I didn't think they knew about the mulberry tree because it seemed like no one had picked the berries. And I was like, I have to tell them. So I came back with a bag full, and they were like, yeah, mulberries, no big deal. And I told them that I wanted to make a pie for them, but they didn't know what a pie was, and I couldn't explain it in Italian, and my friend Dina, who was there with me, tried, and we kept saying torta, and it was kind of lost. But anyway, we just ended up putting the berries in a bowl and leaving them out for everyone to enjoy. That night at dinner, of course, they brought us a mulberry gelatin dessert that the chef whipped up, and it was amazing. I've never had anything formed out of the mulberry before, so we loved it, loved eating it. It was awesome. The next day, our chef, after our cooking class, asked me if I wanted to make my mulberry dessert in the kitchen that evening. So, of course, I say yes. I texted my mom to send me the pie crust recipe. That evening, we go into the kitchen and I start making the crust with my assistant, Dina. Thank you so much. They didn't have any measuring cups or tablespoons or a pastry blender, so I had to wing the measurements using a coffee cup. And everything there was in metric, so I had to do the conversion for the oven too. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea if this thing is going to turn out or not. So I just winged it. Dina was there cheering me on. She's like, you got this. It's going to be amazing. We had to translate using our hands, and I had to dig around in their kitchen for the stuff I needed, and they just let me do my thing. Love. We ate dinner at the farm after while the pie was cooling, and then we went into the kitchen and told them that we were serving them pie. I whipped up fresh ricotta and added some sugar and vanilla and lemon zest to it. And the ricotta that was made that morning was from their goats that were just milked by hand on the farm. I served them up the pie, and they were just blown away. They have never had American pie before. We all sat outside in the dark eating this pie. I did my best to explain to them that this was a classic Americana dessert, and traditionally it would be served with vanilla ice cream. It was love. They showed us love. I showed them love. The owner of the farm shared his story of how he became enlightened, and then he felt inspired to play the piano for us, and then played a beautiful piece that he made up on the spot that came from his feelings he had about our visit and how we all connected. Love. We all started crying after he finished. Love. When you open your mind to trying new things or doing something you have never done before, And then you feel thankful for all that you have experienced. You get to experience feelings that you might not have experienced before. It's hard to describe, but when you ask for something from the universe, you have to be open to receiving it all. You have to be aware of how it's delivered to you. You can miss it if you aren't open and curious. The experience I had on this trip couldn't be replicated because it was how I thought about everything that made the experience so surreal. My thoughts about all the little displays of love made me feel enlightened. And when I feel enlightened, I take actions that are thankful and show love. Then the results of my life are freaking mind-blowing amazing. Like knowing that my dreams will come true and that they are coming true right now as I record this episode. Life is a trip, y'all. Love it. Be open to everything that is coming your way and wonder why you are receiving it the way it becomes. Be thankful, give love, seek love, and I promise you will see and feel things that you have never seen or felt before. I didn't know a year ago that feeling this way was available to me. I had no idea. I'm so thankful that now I know. I'm thankful that I didn't know before and that now I know now because I appreciate it so much more. Allow your feelings to be there. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable, nervous, scared, because when you learn how to allow those feelings, you also learn how to allow the good ones, like the feeling of love. Don't run away or mask or try to avoid the negative stuff, because you can't have the love without the sorrow. You can't know how good this is without going through the bad. It's impossible. I love all of you. I may not know you personally, but please know that I really do love you. I appreciate you listening and watching. I want you to experience what I am experiencing because it's the best thing in the entire world. Better than any toy, bite of food, drink of wine, car, house, or any other material thing you can imagine. And it's available to you whenever you want it. It's truly amazing. Have a beautiful week, full of love. Bye for now.
Arrivo, vado, entro, esco, parto e incontro. Incontro persone diverse, culture diverse, lingue diverse, colori diversi. È il mondo che ruota incessantemente nelle mie mani. E tu cosa lasci? Tu che cosa lasci? Forse un profumo, forse un fiore, un gesto, una parola, amore. O forse niente, l'assoluto silenzio. Ma non è difficile tramutare l'odio in amore. Una lacrima in un sorriso, una pioggia in un sole. E tu cosa lasci? Tu goccia su una foglia che brilla come l'argento. Tu goccia di tante gocce che formano gli incontri, che si uniscono attratte da una sola cosa, amore per la gente, per la vita, per tutto. Lasci un sorriso, una speranza, lasci una traccia che resta scolpita tra le pieghe del mio cuore. E allora lascia di te sempre qualche cosa, perché tu viva per sempre, in un passo, in una foglia, nel verde prato della collina, di sera e di mattina, affinché anche la rugiada mi riconsti un incontro per sempre e sempre. Siete la mia scatola di colori. Quanti siete? Tanti, tantissimi. E quanti colori lasciate? Colori vivi, brillanti, colori che germogliano nel mio cuore. Ogni giorno apro la mia scatola in silenzio, abbraccio tutti i miei colori, li abbraccio tutti, perché so che in questo momento tutti disegnano un pensiero di amore per me.
Love. We crave, we seek, we fail, we learn. Fear of pain, fear of loss, fear of what they feel keeps love away. Love is a rainbow of feelings. Love has no fear. Love doesn't judge. It comes in many forms, circling around you, flowing like a swirl of energy. Reach out and touch it. Open your eyes. Listen. Smell. Love is all around us. It is the energy of the universe. It connects all life. Walk through the fear of rejection. The other side is love. It feels so amazing. First love, our heart's race, desire, connection, completeness. What if our first love was ourselves? What would that feel like? How would all other loves compare? Love is kindness, caring, honoring, respecting, connecting, opening, receiving. We need not seek love outside of self. Love you, then love all else. Pure magic will sparkle around you. Give your love to the world. You will receive miracles. Wasn't that absolutely beautiful? Wow. I am still moved by remembering the story, hearing that music, hearing those poems. And I just wanted to follow up with all that to continue this story a little bit. So I shared that original podcast. I read it actually live on my Facebook page back in 2018. If you want to go back and watch that, you can. It's there. And he ended up sharing that Facebook Live to his business Facebook page. And you'll never guess what happened after that. My first paying client came from him sharing that podcast on his Facebook page. A woman who followed him and his farm and had been to his farm ended up hiring me as her life coach to help her stop over drinking. She was my first paying client. So when I tell you that anything is possible, if you stay open to receiving the good things that the universe has to offer you, take notice of them, saying yes to your opportunities in your life, trying new things, being real, being authentic, going on the journey of stopping over drinking, even when you have a vacation planned to a winery in Sicily, and saying yes to your life, legit magic can happen. Never in my wildest dreams would I've thought that me doing this and going on this trip would have the outcome that it has. Filippo had a huge impact on my life, and who somebody I only spent 2 days with. And so these sort of magical moments are there for your taking. They are out there and they are waiting for you. So I want you to encourage you to say yes to the invitation. Say yes to going on this journey with me. Say yes to yourself and living life to its absolute fullest. Life is fleeting. Life is short. And it can be over in a snap of a finger. And I don't want you to miss. All right, my friends, I love you. I hope you have a beautiful week.